Call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Looking at the dais here, I see Marcia Croninger is not here. She's out of town. And otherwise, all trustees are here and accounted for. First thing we're going to do is classified longevity. And Lori, would you like to kick us off?
Yes, I would. And we have two individuals. I'm looking around the room just to make sure. And let me grab my notes here. Apologize. I'd first like to ask, is Ryan Byrne? Ryan, Ryan, that was great timing. I would like to ask Ryan to come up and to introduce the first individual who we will be honoring. And I'll leave it to you to do that introduction.
All right, thank you. We try to have excellent timing in the world of athletics. So. Today, we'd like to recognize Susan Houlihan Davis, who's our athletic trainer for 20 years of service. Sue started working for Santa Barbara City College in 1994, and under her stewardship, the athletic training program has become a model among all California community college athletic programs. Sue not only serves our student athletes with a tremendous amount of care, but she's also built the program for student athletes and athletic training students. Our students, which this is the part that most people don't understand, is that we have about 20 students per year that are pursuing athletic training and physical therapy, and in addition to treating our actual student athletes, Sue is also training our prospective future athletic trainers to learn about the field and really progress in their goals, both as students and in their potential career as physical therapists or athletic trainers. The impact that she's had on our student athletes is really difficult to measure. So I thought I'd attempt to give you some perspective with a few little examples of quick math. We have about, on average over the past 20 years, about 350 student athletes per year. On a very modest estimate, we're going to say that Sue has given about 15 treatments per year per athlete, which is a very modest estimate. Over the course of 20 years, that's well over 105,000 treatments, not counting the dozens of conversations and assessments and numerous other things that go into that. In the world of athletic training, tape is a big thing. Okay, tape is one of the best rough measures for how much injury prevention we've actually done. Again, a very conservative estimate here. We go through at least 20 cases of tape per year, at the very least. Each case has about 24 rolls, and each roll is about 22.5 feet. So over the course of 20 years, that is 216,000 feet of tape that have been applied to our student athletes under Sue's watch. So again, that's the very rough estimates. With all the measurables and immeasurables that she brings to the table, the thing that stands out the most to me is just a truly deep care for the well-being of our students. And that's impossible to measure, but very heartfelt among all of our coaches and staff. And I just want to welcome Susan up to thank her for those 20 years of service. Thank you.
Scholar athlete here.
To the board, thank you for allowing me to continue my teaching here, as well as
helping the athletes stay healthy. I really love working here, and I look forward to another 20-plus years.
And then we have a second individual that we would like to recognize and honor, and I'll ask Dan Watkins to come up, please.
Good afternoon, President Macker, Superintendent President Gaskin. It's my privilege and honor to recognize Jerry Thomas and his 20 years of service. He's right there. I'll call him up in a minute. I've worked with Jerry closely for about the past 5 years, where I've really gotten to appreciate all that he does for the college. He works behind the scenes, making sure all of the internet data and all of our networks are running and protected and safe. He has almost single-handedly since, he was a student here in 1976, and then he was a computer lab tutor here in 1987, but he has almost single-handedly built the entire computer network that our college runs on, with a little support from Paul and I and some others along the way. And he is now, and most recently, deployed our wireless network and done incredible wireless projects, including a wireless point-to-point from this building to the Children's Center. So all of their connectivity is coming from this building and going across the street. He just set up a wireless point-to-point to get wireless connectivity down to our Pershing Park, down to the baseball field, so they can stream wireless games. He's provided wireless connectivity to the football field, so they can stream wireless. So for athletics, wireless in all the public areas where students congregate. And now we've got a project that we're working on to bring wireless to all the classrooms. So a tremendous amount of effort. And again, I can't say enough how honored I am to work with him and see his work ethic and how hard he works every day, how much he loves the college. He will oftentimes, he's one of those people that if there's an issue on the weekend and I call him, or he finds an issue on the weekend, he'll take it upon himself to fix that and get things back up and running, even like in the middle of something else that he's doing personally. He'll drop it and go and try and fix it. And actually, I think one of those things is this weekend. We're going to look at upgrading some of our circuits to the internet, and he's going to come in and do that on a Saturday morning. So really, I really appreciate Jerry and his hard work, and I'm so proud that he's been here 20 years, and I hope he's here much longer. So Jerry, if you want to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thanks everyone, board and audience. Like I'm one of the behind-the-scenes people, so I don't do well on where I'm out exposed. You know, I hide my cave and do things. However, Dan was very generous and in his description of the things that we do here, but it wasn't always completely by myself. There was a lot of help doing things like pulling wires and configuring things and holding things, and it wasn't just all me, but a large part of it, and a lot of the day-to-day maintenance falls on me first, and we have others that back me up. But anyway, it's been fun, and I know a lot of the board people wasn't here for my 15, and including Laurie, but glad I'm still here for the 20, and maybe some of you will be here then too, and we'll talk again later. Okay. Thank you.
Jerry. Certainly, some of the greatest assets of the college are its staff, and serving 20 years is wonderful. I hope you both can do another 20. I don't think I'll be here.
You never know.
Never know.
Never say never.
So next we have hearing of citizens. I do have two for right now, and then another individual wants to speak at item 4.2. So I'll call up Lisa Lopez.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Gaskin and Board of Trustees. I wanted to share with you, I'm usually a very enthusiastic person and lively. I'm just a little nervous right now, but I would like to thank you for your time and share with you the enormous success that we had for the 2014 Day of Caring this past Saturday. We had a positive reinforcement of our Santa Barbara City College students that came up to sign up, and we had and to give back. We had a total of over 400 students come to sign up and give back to our community and meet and greet those at our rally. It was a wonderful time for all of us to really gather in one place, and we talked with many of our council members, and a lot of our students had a lot of meet and greet times with their fellow students as well. They were very happy, engaged. I received a lot of feedback, and it was wonderful for them to tell me that they met people from other students from other countries. I'd also like to thank Paul Bishop, my supervisor, vice president, and Mark Bromfield for leading the horticulture and planting of trees in front of the Humanities Building. It was a great success. We have beautiful pictures to show you. This is our cheerleaders at the rally, giving a great big rally there for over 400 of our students. Well, there was a lot more than 400, 1,300 volunteers all in all that day. Our prize winners here is our LVN nursing students who also attended and met with Lois Capps. I'm happy to announce that through the Day of Caring, we were able to provide the nursing students with the Jody House, which is a brain injury rehab center, and they are now looking into partnership with Santa Barbara City College as a clinical for our students to do training. It's a wonderful experience, and I'm glad that they had a chance to get together. Our Ambassadors Club came out in numbers to sign up many of our students in helping me. I give them applause. They come out in great numbers. These are the students that come from other countries and are just happy to be a part of the community and give back and welcome. I have the Chinese scholars who went to Santa Maria. 15 of them volunteered. It came out in the Lompoc Record. They were very successful in the Day of Caring out in Santa Maria. They're very happy to give back and help. Here is our Humanities Horticulture Project, where Paul was taking the pictures, and there's Mark Bromfield right there helping the students and giving them a lot of information on our project. And again, here are our students, Ambassadors Club, and the nursing faculty and staff, and the Day of Caring. I just want to thank you and thank all the clubs and my supervisor for allowing me to extend my enthusiasm in this campaign and Day of Caring, where it leads into our United Way campaign on campus. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate your leadership in this role year after year. Thank you. Okay, next up, Nancy Stevens and is it Regina Frecking? Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Nancy Stevens. I'm one of the teachers in the middle college program. This is my colleague, Regina Frecking, and there's one other member, Dominic Frecking. He couldn't be here this afternoon. But we've been asked to come here today to inform the board about the Great Books, Great Read selection for this year. And this year's selection is Homer's Odyssey. You'll probably be seeing posters like these around campus listing some of the activities that Celeste has organized with this program. In addition to the book that over 1,200 students will be reading, she has live performance organized, she has lectures and discussions planned, as well as creative writing workshops. And the schools besides City College, English students are participating. There are 4 high schools that also participate: Santa Barbara High, Dos Pueblos, Carpinteria High, and then our middle college program here on campus. She asked us to talk to you today because we have participated for the last 3 years, and so wanted to give you some of the high school student feedback on what it's like to join in and be a part of a college program. And that's really the primary reason we got on board, was because it gives our students really a chance to feel they're taking courses up here, but this gives them a chance to feel part of the academic community, and that's huge. And we can push them to raise that level, or the level of their writing, to the college level. Additionally, they love getting the free books. Go figure. And it gives them also the quality enrichment programs, as well as the end of the program. She has an awards. It culminates with a writing competition, and there is an awards lunch usually in February where students are presented, the winning students are presented with cash awards. This whole program has been sponsored by the AppGuard Foundation through a grant that Celeste has been able to secure for the last 4 years. However, she's very nervous. She doesn't believe that they'll fund again. So wanted us to come here today and ask you to consider, if you see the value in this, that you'll help to see it continue on campus. Right now, Regina's got some samples of the books with the activities inside. If you are interested in attending any of the activities, like the live performance, let Angie here know, and Celeste will get you some tickets. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
And I'd like to take the opportunity before you guys leave to comment. Those community colleges in the state that have middle colleges are really, really quite fortunate. And having come from a college that had one, and to come here and see the beauty of ours is pretty amazing. We regularly, and I am the recipient, but really it goes to these individuals and others who are part of this, we regularly receive effusive praise from parents and from students who have been part of our middle college. And they say things like, I couldn't have done it without middle college, that not only are the teachers phenomenal, but the experience was something that was so needed and necessary in their lives. And having received one, I think it was in June, that was one of the most powerful comments and statements from a parent, yeah, I think it was parent, that I had ever read. I just needed to share with you that this relationship and this partnership that we have with the Unified School District is really powerful. And high school is never a one-size-fits-all, and middle college is evidence of that. So kudos to you guys. I was
Thank you,
trying to find
Nancy.
that note to read to them. So.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Okay. See, the next item is minutes of the special meeting of August 7th. I think we can take these together, and the regular meeting of August 28th.
I move approval of the minutes of August 7th and August 28th.
Second.
Any comments or edits? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Minutes are approved. Next is, we'll move into communications. You're ready this time, right, Kim? This is Kim Monda, the president of the Academic Senate.
Good afternoon, members of the board, Dr. Gaskin. Good to see you again. I think this is my second one of these, so they're getting a little easier. As I try to think about what to share with you, first I think we're all feeling how moving all of the presentations we just heard were, and it gives us a glimpse into the amazing things that are happening in so many different levels on this campus. So it's great to be a part of this, and thank you for your service as part of this. I like to just remind people what it's like to be an instructor, and we just finished week 5, or tomorrow we will for those who teach on Friday. So that's 1/3 of the way through. So the honeymoon period's over, and instructors and students are figuring out, what do I need to work on? What do I especially like? What don't I like, but I have to deal with it? So it's kind of this great part of discovery and hard work as we work together to help students develop their skills and develop their love of ideas and learning. So we're in the middle of that exciting stretch right now. The Senate has met twice since I spoke to you in August, and at those 2 meetings we were spending time on board policies and academic procedures. So we do finally have some to send forward in that important process of updating all of these documents that really define what we do as an institution. We're also taking action on recommendations that work groups with members of the Senate, the Instructor Association, and the district got together to do some problem solving and brainstorming about our department chair training and how we handle faculty evaluation. So those are really exciting things because it's in the trenches work we do together, and it's related to professional development and growth and support of each other. So that's exciting work that we're doing. The last 2 things I wanted to share is one of the puzzles of being in this role is figuring out how to communicate what information. And I know you think about that a lot as well as board members. What are the key issues? How do we share them? And Dr. Gaskin really worked on that process recently about our budget, both the current situation and future planning. And she had written an update to the campus community about that. And she came to the Dean's Council to talk about it more in person. And I was so struck by how effective that was to also talk in person that I asked her to come to the Senate. And very short notice she came, and she got to speak to us as well. And people could ask her questions and kind of explore it more deeply. And I think these kinds of points of contact are so important as we work as an institution to face the opportunities and challenges ahead. The last presentation that I wanted to highlight for you was from Dean Partee regarding the Student Success and Support Plan that's due October 17th. And I know this in relation to the Student Success Act of 2012, SB 1456. I know I'll have those memorized pretty soon. But I know they're part of your board goals as well for the year, and it's a really major challenge for all community colleges that we try to respond to this powerful law that's really going to change how we do a lot of our procedures here, and hopefully, of course, increase student success and engagement at the school. So academic counseling is the primary place at which these laws need to be addressed, but of course they expand to every instructor. And so what we have begun with having Dean Partee come is begun to share what these requirements are, and also we're going to try to discover the points of contact within our classrooms that can support that work that our academic counselors are working so hard to figure out. So that is going to be an ongoing process, but I just wanted you to know that the faculty is also, the teaching faculty as opposed to the counseling, are starting to learn more about it and figure out how they will be involved. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, next up from Associated Students, Gracie Minetto.
Good afternoon, members of the board and Dr. Gaskin. So this will be my second report. I think on my first report, I mentioned a few goals and objectives that we had. I'm not really sure, but I'll go ahead and just state them again. One of our goals this year was to enrich our robust student population through a series of campus-wide activities. And so we have had a few activities these past 5 weeks, or within these past 5 weeks. One of them was our club day, and it was a really successful club day. A lot of clubs came out and they said that one club had over 80 students apply for the club, so it was really successful. And so we're going to actually have another club day sometime within October. We don't have an exact date yet, but we're going to have another one because it was really successful. another activity that we did have, one of our goals is also to fundraise, and so we had a fundraiser as our Merchants Bazaar, and we raised over $1,000. So we're actually going to have another one towards December, November, so like you can do your Christmas shopping on campus, guys. And then our second goal would be to tackle the party culture in Isla Vista and the community surrounding Santa Barbara City College. One way we've tried to kind of combat this, or the party culture, is by actually sending student representatives onto the several Isla Vista committees that have come about because of everything that happened. We also will be involved with the Meet Your Neighbor event in Isla Vista, and so it's an event that came about, I believe, with the communities, or the starting the governance.
Yes, in the Park District there.
Yeah, the Park District. And so we're actually going to be sending some students out there to volunteer throughout the day. And I do believe we are going to be co-sponsoring the event. We have also, we're collaborating with UCSB a lot more now. And so we're going to start setting some meetings. We had a really successful meet and greet with their board. So their board came over, or their Senate members came over to our city college, and they got to view our campus, and we all sat at a table, we all just kind of talked, we kind of mingled a little, and so I think that'll help the relationship. We're also going to be participating in the Heart and Soul, the AIDS Heart and Soul Walk this coming October 4th. So that's one thing we're going to be doing as a Senate. A really great thing, the Senate actually enthusiastically endorsed Measure S, and so that's one of our really big things this semester, and so we're going to try to get students registered to vote. We're going to see if we can kind of go out there and talk to students and tell them as to why the school needs this, and it's going to benefit them, and so that's another thing we're working on. And we actually have an almost full Senate, so we can have a total of 18 members, and we're at 17 right now. And so as of Friday, this past Friday, we had 17 Senate members. So yeah, that's my little update. Okay, thank you.
Thanks so
Have a
much,
great day.
Gracie. Liz Auchincloss is from the classified employees.
Good afternoon, President Macker, members of the board. The classified consultation groups met twice since our last meeting, and we have been talking about the board policies. We finally got into Chapter 7, which is HR, so those are board policies that we're very interested in reviewing. And we've also had discussions on the PLUMP, which is the land use planning, and we've appointed our representatives to be part of the meetings that are going to be taking place soon. And our chapter had a meeting last week, and we also voted to endorse Measure S by a large majority. So, any questions?
Thank you. Any questions for Liz? No. Dr. Gaskin.
Wow, there's so much going on, and you get a sense of that when you hear these reports. And there's a number of things I wanted to comment on, but President Macker, you said something about the heart and soul. You didn't use these words, but really this institution is founded and thrives on the basis of our employees, our staff, and our faculty, and that's so evident in what you have just heard and what you've just witnessed. Lisa Lopez deserves a tremendous amount of credit. She was very subdued today because she was nervous, but she is a ball of energy, and particularly when it's devoted to United Way and the efforts there. Kudos to her. The largest majority of students participating last Saturday were our international students, I do believe, and that says certainly something about the contributions that all of our students make, and in particular, in this case, our international students, to the community as a whole. I have to comment on Gracie. I take poor Gracie, you know, balancing being president and a student and a full load, and also representing the student voice in all things that have to do with community and Isla Vista. And she serves on a very high-level committee with me, which is chaired by our district attorney, Joyce Dudley, and has supervisors and sheriff and Chancellor Yang and everyone. And we were around the table today, probably about 30 of us, talking some very, very serious things relative to Isla Vista. And Gracie mesmerized people with just some real genuine, authentic voice of the students. This is what it's like. This is what the issues are. And they kept coming back to that as a checkpoint. And that's really, I think, fundamental that we hear students' perspective, particularly with the issues surrounding Isla Vista. So, Gracie, I recognize everything that you're balancing. I wanted to comment as well on the yeoman's job that Marty is doing. Marty Bloom is balancing, certainly serving as a trustee as part of that, doing the board work group for board policies and administrative procedures, and chairing that very, very important task force on our neighborhood issues, particularly related to town gown issues. And through Marty's involvement, past involvement with the city, she has been able to gather just some very high-level individuals, including Paul Casey and the mayor, to be involved in this task force, which is called the SBCC Neighborhood Task Force. And it deals with town gown issues around the main campus. Most notable with that is that I have reached out to my colleagues at UCSB to identify a facilitator that could assist this task force in coming forward with viable and sustainable long-term plans of action. And they recommended a group called MIG and a particular person, Daniel Isfano, which I have come to realize Daniel and this group have done a lot of work in community colleges in California as well as with the city of Santa Barbara. And needless to say, the city of Santa Barbara is overjoyed that we are bringing Daniel in to work with Marty and the task force in this very important effort. So that is happening. I wanted to comment, there's been some commentary out in the community, and I think it deserves some amount of attention relative to some accuracy in the nature of student housing. So just to put all of this into perspective, there are 112 community colleges in the state of California. 11 of them have student housing. Those 11 are all located in the rural areas of Northern California or in the rural areas of Central Valley. The range of capacity is from 32 at Taft College in Taft, California for developmentally delayed adult students to about 140 beds, and that is the range. UCSB is funded, and in fact, all of the UCs are funded for dorms and residential units through the central office, the UC System Office. The UC System Office, because of their cachet with regard to their financial standing, will go out and obtain long-term loans so that the individual campuses can build housing units. So they front the money, the system fronts the money, and then it's paid back over time through the collection of student fees for that living, for the lodging. We do not have that mission or purpose, and the state chancellor's office will not do that. That is, go out and finance these, and then we pay it back. So I just wanted to clarify that it's tantalizing to compare us to UCSB in that regard, but we're so different in terms of our structure. And let's see, I think that is it for now.
All right, thank you. So any reports from board members or?
I just wanted to ask Lori, so in bringing up the housing, so what did you want to clarify for people? I'm just a
The
little
funding
confused.
mechanism.
Oh, because people are thinking that,
It's very easy for us to just build dorms. And what I'm saying is that there has to be an dorms, you know, are $30,
right,
$40
but
million.
who's requesting that we build dorms? Are people thinking we're going to build dorms?
I've certainly heard in the community requests for student housing.
I've certainly heard it.
All kinds of written articles, too.
Okay, because
Yeah, it's been very prevalent.
Articles for and against.
for residents of Santa Barbara to want us to provide housing for more students to come here to live here?
I'm not sure about their goal.
Okay,
But
because
certainly student housing.
I would concerns me that we would be looking, and I haven't heard anything about people wanting housing, and I think a lot of the concern has been in terms of more out-of-town students and, more, and with us, I mean, we're a small city, Marty, you know this, right? So anytime 20,000, we're a community of 20,000, so anything we do drastically changes and impacts just all social economic factors across the city. So I think that
I'm not proposing we build dorms.
Okay.
What I am doing is clarifying that there was some inaccuracies in terms of our ability to fund dorms,
if we
to
even,
build and fund dorms,
right,
yes.
but we're not thinking of building.
No.
dorms.
No, not,
Okay.
it's just 180 degrees opposite. Individuals, I've seen comments in the press, different
Not wanting
articles
to.
out saying, well, why don't you go ahead and do this and help alleviate some of the housing problems? Well, we aren't funded the same way as UCSB. That's not our mission. We don't receive funds from the state to provide housing for our students.
Because in previous meetings, I have heard you say that we have to address the housing issue, but
Correct.
we're thinking of something different.
Correct.
Okay, that will
Yes,
soon
we
be
we
revealed.
definitely need to be partners and genuine partners in helping to address the housing issue. But what I'm suggesting is that because of our structure and many other things, the pathway of building dorms is not necessarily one that I would advocate.
Okay, yeah. And then I had another question on MIG, and I went ahead and Googled them, and so they're costing how much? $69,000, or what did you say it'll cost? Okay, so, and I'm wondering if there is also, and I know we're reaching out to different people in the community, and I'm sure, and just looking at their work, I mean, the work that was actually struck me is the work they did in the Bay Area with the incorporated area of Fair Oaks, which is a very similar community to what you would have neighboring the east side in Montecito with Palo Alto and then Fair Oaks being incorporated. So just in my research that I did with them, I mean, I think that they're definitely right on when it comes to looking at things from a social justice and equitable for the community. But I'm also wondering, have you guys also considered any internal capacity that we might have here in the city with other nonprofit agencies that already have a lens into the community and have been working on some of these issues?
I thought it would be best to get somebody who had been highly recommended for town gown issues. And having gone to my colleagues at UCSB, without question, this was number one. This organization has worked with so many UCs, and town gown is really a touchy subject, as you well know. And I wanted somebody with that expertise. It just so happens that they not only have that expertise, but they have the expertise of the city of Santa Barbara, and also the California Community College System strategic plan. So that was just a wonderful collective.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because, I mean, it is a lot of money, and like I said, you guys researched them and looked at some of their projects that they did?
I have.
No, I'm asking the board. Did you guys see any other projects that? they
I
did?
didn't look at any other projects, no.
Okay.
I'm relying on the president on
Yeah.
this one.
So, and I mean, I know I talked to Marty about some just different ski stakeholders, but I think that, and my other question too was, I know that the community member that came to speak to us in terms of the Lower West Side, her concern were the Kaplan students. And so is Kaplan helping fund some of this since it's also their students? So what's their responsibility to help address that then?
They have no responsibility right now.
Or are we going to engage them so that
They
they
have
can step?
18 students in La Brisa. We have far more.
Well, if they're still in the community and they're leasing here on our campus.
I can't control EF, I can't control Kaplan, but I can control the role and the focus that we have. So no,
Well, I'm not
Kaplan's
talking about controlling them, I'm talking about saying you're leasing a space on our campus, we're obviously partners in some type of financial way because we are leasing a space. You guys bring in students and then they then become part of the community. I think that they also need to be part of this process because their students are not only residing, at least within, interacting with our students in terms of eating here and socializing and then somewhat living
I
in that way.
believe, we met with Kaplan about 2 days ago, and I believe that they quoted 90% of their students are homestays. So that's just not a high level issue right now for us. Right now, it's our students who are living in the proximate areas of Oceano, La Brisa, that whole area.
I think I would just be a little concerned that their students are on our campus and they wouldn't want to like engage with it.
We'll certainly take that under advisement.
Yeah, so, and their lease is still here until when, Kaplan?
I'll have to check. I don't know off the top of my head. I believe the board acted in 2012, and it was for 5 years, so 2017 That's off the top of my head.
And just because I think that for that, I think at least that resident, I mean, even you saying that it's only 12, I think that would be valuable information for the resident too, and the people down there to know, hey, no, actually it's a smaller percentage of students. It's not in fact, the amount of students that you think that are living down there. with the families.
I understand your concern, and again, we'll take it under advisement as Marty works through the committee structure.
And certainly any board member at any time has access to Marty and Lori to communicate these concerns through email or at any
Well,
time.
but sometimes it's easier to just talk to all of you at the same time because I can't talk to you guys at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's nice for you guys to all hear what I want to say versus just emailing and one person hearing.
Right, and in the future, if anybody wants to comment directly to Lori or Marty so that that information is taken to the meetings, that opportunity is there.
Lori, do we have any statistics or numbers that tell us the status of the students that are supposed like living in Isla Vista or in the apartments? And by the status, I mean local or from out of area. And I ask this because I've had people, the public, make some assumptions that I don't believe are valid, that all these students that are living in apartments are from out of the area. And the vast majority of them are from right here. They just don't live at home with mom and dad anymore. And if we had, I don't know if there's any kind of records kept that you guys could look at, or I'd be most interested.
Really good question, and the problem is we absolutely do have records, but students aren't required to put down their present address as long as they put down an address. So quite often it's a permanent address, and it could be a permanent address in San Roque or something like that, or a permanent address in Ventura. So we have no way of knowing that if actually they live, whoever lives in the surrounding neighborhood, if they're from the local community or not, or if that address really is specific to every individual who lives in the local community. To give you a sense, we kept hearing very wild numbers regarding Isla Vista. So our data tells us 1,200 students, SBCC students, live in Isla Vista. Our institutional researcher called all of the major landlords and asked, how many SBC students do you have? And so that number has now risen to 2,300. We believe that's probably an appropriate number, certainly far lower than the 5,000 that was anecdotally being bantered about. But we don't have the capacity to do that and to ask the landlords in the greater Santa Barbara
The
community.
reason I bring this up is because the public gets so little of the facts, and people are asking and saying things and making assumptions out there that it skews reality. And it's just one of those issues that the more factual we can be. And then an old axiom is, don't just tell them, but tell them again and tell them again and tell them again. And if you tell them enough times, maybe that will become the fact. But we got to make sure we're telling the truth, and which we have no reason not to. And so, thank you.
Well, apropos of that, it's amazing to me, and maybe it shouldn't be, that rumor and drama are so easily shared, and pulling them back from the precipice, adding a degree of transparency and truth to this. Truth is not very exciting, I guess, and that's why we prefer the more dramatic stuff. So I'm grateful to the president for taking this initiative. I know it costs some dollars, but I think it's very, very critical that our neighbors understand that we're very serious, that we actually heard them and hear them ongoing, that we are going to take some steps to help the process. I think that's very important.
Marianne?
Well, as long as we're talking about good neighbors, I thought I would mention that we had a few students from SBCC who were having a little trouble adjusting to Isla Vista this year, and one of our deans personally went out and called on them and chatted with them, and their neighbors are thrilled.
Okay.
Let me just, I'm looking forward to the first meeting next week. There's been a lot of hype about it. And frankly, I think the idea of just sitting down with police, with the and I don't mean to put police first, with students, with neighbors, with, city and City College, is probably the first time that's happened. And I think it's really important that Lori got out there and said, let's sit down and talk about it. We might not be able to do anything because, these students are 18 or older, and sometimes there's no ropes you can tie them with or anything like that, so it could be difficult. On the other hand, just the fact that we're there asking and talking and sending a dean out there, that was a good idea. So those kinds of things, yeah. We might be able to do a few things, we might be able to do more than a few things, we might surprise ourselves. So I'm just glad we're going to be talking, and I definitely will be reporting back here as often as I can.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Craig, anything else?
Yeah, a few social issues dealing with communities and how they resolve issues. I've been familiar with over the last years. The city of El Paso, and then there's in New Mexico, Sacramento, Seattle, having neighborhoods that are having problems and undergoing issues. One of the things I found pretty universal is neighborhood associations, neighborhood groups. In other words, people talking to people. Get them together in groups, neighborhood block parties where people mingle and find out who's living in the neighborhood and get together. What you're doing with these meetings is great, but you have to take it from the meeting and actually put it in the neighborhood. And there are really record success stories of these that have had very, very positive results when it's practiced.
That's good.
So
Thank you.
go for it.
There you go.
I'll help you if I can.
I may call you, thanks.
Okay, the regular committees, are there reports from the chairs?
The Facilities Committee met, and we had several things on the agenda today that we are recommending be approved, including item G and H, and then 4 notices of completion, IJKL, a contract for the scoreboard replacement, and then 3 resolutions, C, D, and E, under business action items. All of those have been previously reviewed in great detail, and then we did a quick study of all of them at this last meeting and recommend their approval.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Peter?
As you know, the Ed Policies Committee has spent a considerable amount of time focusing on the issue of transfer readiness from our high schools to college because of the significant numbers of people who are not able to test into college-level English or math. Last Friday, the 19th, Dr. Gaskin and I, we met with the Carpinteria Unified High School personnel. We met with Paul Ruggiero and 2 members of the Unified School Board, Terry Hickey Banks and Andy Schaefer. And I think we made some real headway. At the very least, we were able to talk about this as a common problem, not with a view of placing blame anywhere, but with a view of saying we're here to help, and we have. I like the meeting. I like the tone of it, and I think we will actually be in a better position over time, to actually make a difference.
I was at the meeting also, and one interesting point out of that was just the ability to disaggregate data again from the progress of the students. It's nice to have that. Where's Robert else when we need him?
On vacation.
It's so nice to have that data at our fingertips so that we could, in this case, focus in on the Carpinteria School District and look at those students. And in turn, as the years go on, we'll be able to pull the same data year after year, and their faculty and board can then see what progress they're making in areas they could improve or tweak or share with other districts successes that they're having. So the data is so useful. Fiscal policy, fiscal meetings? No?
No.
You don't have to give a report.
No.
No, okay. Did anybody else have anything they want to share?
Well, we passed the budget
we
at
didn't need
the
that,
last
yeah.
board meeting earlier this month.
Mhm.
Right, we had a meeting earlier this month, and we did pass the budget for 14-15. We have an adopted budget now on time as per state requirements. Next item up then is reports, and today we're welcoming Jim Rivera from the foundation.
And as Jim is walking here, I just have to commend Jim for doing such a fine job in his interim capacity. We work very well together, and this is evidenced by this wonderful year-end report that he will be presenting to you.
Dr. Gaskin, you took my speech away from me.
That was it?
I wanted to thank you for your support and accessibility as interim executive director. It really means a great deal, and it's critical to my effectiveness in the role, so thank you. President Macker, Board of Trustees, Dr. Gaskin, it's my pleasure as the interim executive director for the foundation to present our preliminary year-end financials for fiscal year 2013-14, which I think represent a really successful fundraising year that is in support of the common goals held by the college and the foundation. As you may have noticed, the presentation of the financials are in a very different format than what you've probably seen in the past. Our goal was to try to reflect very clearly the level of support and our income and expenses related to college program support, as well as income and expenses related to foundation operating support. So you could clearly see what the foundation was doing to benefit the college. In relationship to income, you can see that contributions for college program support were $6.8 million. This was over budget by $3.6 million, primarily due to final accounting and distributions from the Krause estate, which has been kind of an ongoing project since 2009 when Mary Krause Stewart passed away. Contributions for foundation support were $509,000, which unfortunately was $400,000 under budget, provides us an opportunity for raising more unrestricted funds to support foundation operations. So total charitable contributions to the foundation, which supported both the college and the foundation, were totaled $7.3 million, and this exceeded our budget by $3.2 million, which again was due primarily to the Krause estate disbursements. As you may have noticed, there were some other income categories for both college program support and the foundation. These included dividend and interest income, realized and unrealized gains and losses for invested funds, as well as other income. When you take those totals in relationship to total contributions, we had total support of $12,860,000. Of that, $10,700,000 was for college program support, and $2.1 million was for foundation operating support. In relationship to expenses, our total expenses for college program support, these are funds that were actually sent to the college, were $4.7 million. This was $1.6 million over budget, primarily due to three factors. We did change our accounting from a cash basis to an accrual basis for scholarships. So for instance, in prior years, we would book the scholarships that were made or granted in the previous year, but actually paid in the current year during that current year. For 2013-14, we booked the scholarships that were awarded in 2013, paid in 2014, and that were awarded in 2014 that will be paid in 2015. So we basically have 2 years of scholarships, and that's why that dollar amount is so large. We also under budgeted college program support by $386,000, and we did not budget at all, unfortunately, for asset management and gift fees associated with contributions that came in to support college programs. Foundation operating expenses totaled $2.1 million. This was $375,000 over budget, due primarily to, as you're aware, staff transition that has been taking place in the foundation, unanticipated professional fees related to legal and accounting services and increased marketing expenses primarily for the Campaign for Student Success. So when you take all the expense categories, it resulted in total expenses of $6.8 million. When you look at that in relationship to total income, I think, had a very successful year in ending with a net income of $6 million. May I answer any questions?
I just had a question, Jim, and you said in the,
Yes.
the decrease in program support, so then there were certain programs that didn't receive the same funding, obviously, since from 2012, 2013 to 2013, 2014. So you said that in program support that there was a difference from sort of this year from the 142385 versus 2815. So were there certain programs on campus that, for as of June, that just didn't get funding? Like
There
the
are
other years?
some, and in the second page of the financial overview, you can see exactly where the contributions went to. So we do our best to try to raise funds for all of the priorities that are identified by the college and kind of our marching orders for fundraising, but sometimes we're not that successful. So sometimes they fall in one bucket, but they don't fall in the other, unfortunately. Any other questions? Again, I just wanted to extend my thanks to Dr. Gaskin for her support. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Make it kind
Yeah,
of
I think the applause are appropriate. I mean, $6 million is
Amazing.
a wonderful, wonderful achievement.
And we love to watch the dividend income going up, right? I know. I noticed you budgeted 15,000 and made 10 times that, so that's great. Right, Joe Sullivan? Same thing for our college.
No problem.
Have to see who they're investing with, right? Okay, we're moving on to the revision to board policies, Chapter 4, Academic Affairs.
And I wanted to call your attention, this is being presented for second reading and action. I wanted to call your attention to two areas that the board had surfaced last time. The first is Board Policy 4240, Academic Renewal 4240. And there was a paragraph at the very beginning that was, it duplicated basically the whole foundation of the board policy. So the Board of Trustees shall adopt policies pertaining to the alleviation of previously recorded substandard academic, et cetera. You are adopting this policy. So all I did was I reworked that first sentence and I put in the definition of what academic renewal is, since that's what we're trying to do at our board work group. So we were attentive to what you had asked for there. And then secondly, and I did share this with you, Board Policy 4250, you had questions about academic dismissal and exceptions to academic dismissal and using summer session. We cannot use sessions, whether they be intersessions in January or summer sessions. They're only allowed to use terms, and terms are either the 3 quarters if we're on the quarter system or the 2 semesters on the semester system. So we need to keep this as is.
Could you help us understand the rationale behind that?
The rationale, I believe, is because of the compression of the coursework, but I will turn to Allison and see if she has heard the rationale. She did inquire of the Chancellor's office on this.
I did. Allison, I'm going to ask you to come up. It just, the recording doesn't pick you up back there.
Title V is fairly specific as it defines terms versus sessions. And 55033, Standards for Dismissal, clearly states, for the purposes of this section, semesters or quarters shall be considered. So it excludes sessions. I also checked with several other California community colleges, colleagues of mine around the state, and they do the exact same thing that we do. Further, Dr. Partee and I were at a Student Success and Support Implementation Conference just last week, and Mia Keeley from the Chancellor's office had this as part of her presentation and specifically said semesters. So it was confirmed at several different touch points most recently.
And do you know the rationale why?
Well, not all colleges have sessions, I believe, and also, oftentimes, the time period in between is so short.
Yeah. We don't know. Sometimes we don't understand regulation and code, but it's what we have to live with.
Yeah, and I will vote to affirm this policy, but, you know, sometimes when there is no rationale or no clarity about that rationale, we dig a little deeper, and maybe we can even cause them to change, because it seems to me that under certain circumstances, this would disadvantage a student who might be able to remove the probationary or dismissal notice by going to a summer session.
I think that, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. We haven't gathered the data to suggest that that's a large issue or not, so I really can't comment. Right now, we're trying to align with what the practice is.
I'll agree with that. I just want to keep us aware that
Sure.
stuff has to make sense, even if it's law. You know, I'm...
Oh, you're asking a lot.
I know. I know.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that we agreed to something and then we dug deeper and gradually were able to follow up and make some change, so. Those motivated board members that would like to follow up can do that. Any other comments or questions about the board policies? I was thinking we could go ahead and approve all the ones listed on page 1 of 19.
Can we pull some of them and then vote separately?
We can do that, too.
Do you want me to just pull the ones that?
Sure, do you?
Yeah, 4226, 4240, and 4250.
Okay, I might suggest that we go ahead and vote on the others, other than those three, and then we could take those one at a time, and if there's any discussion or just straight to a vote, we can do that. So if we're all ready, can I have a motion to approve all of the new board policies with the exception of 4226, 4240, and 4250?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, those policies are approved. Next, we'll move to multiple and overlapping enrollments, policy 4226. Could I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
A second? Is
Then
it
we need discussion.
discussion? Yeah. Is there discussion on 4226?
I think we discussed it. Well, Marty, you weren't here, but yeah, we did discuss it.
So all in favor of 4226, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
So we'll record that trustee Gallardo is opposed. Any abstentions? Okay, motion's passed. I'm doing too much flipping around here. Now I lost them. Okay, here we go. Next one, may I have a motion to approve academic renewal? That'd be board policy 4240.
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Marty. Any discussion about 4240? So all in favor of 4240, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
We can record trustee Gallardo as a no. Any abstentions? Okay, that policy is passed. The next is 4250, which we just discussed. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, further discussion on that policy? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Trustee Gallardo is opposed. Are there any abstentions? And there's no abstentions. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you again to trustee Bloom and trustee Croninger and the whole committee that is working through these. I know it's a torturous procedure. We appreciate your work. Just as you're putting all this detailed time in it, obviously the board members are also putting in their own detailed review, and we appreciate everybody's comments and concerns and investigation into these policies.
If I might just add, if any of the board members aren't happy with it or want to pursue it, we can study and amend and propose
Always.
changes, and we always can. So if somebody has ideas, it'd be good to share them.
So again, I'm really appreciative. We're moving forward. We do want to get them approved, and there's always an opportunity for revisions. And this time when there are revisions, everything's going to be tracked so clearly. I have confidence in the administration following up on all of that. Okay, so where are we now, folks?
Measure V.
Measure B. 2.2.
2.2?
There we go.
2.2.
2.2, reappointment of Measure V Citizens Bond Oversight Committee member. Did you want to say anything about this, Lori?
Yes, I did. We have one member who would like to be considered for reappointment, and this is Charles Tobe Plow, and he represents the Taxpayers Association. It's our recommendation that you reappoint him for Measure V.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
Moved and seconded.
Did you do the
Any
next one?
discussion? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? No. Okay.
Sandra.
And we thank him for his service. Again, all the volunteers in the community that are supporting the college, we're so grateful. Okay,
We're moving.
we're moving.
Only 2 inches of paper left.
I know.
I know I missed my iPad, but as president, I can't move through the iPad quick enough. I had to abandon it and go to the paper process. Okay, next is Human Resources. We'll welcome Pat English, winner of this year's Administrator of the Year Award.
Thank you, Lisa.
Where's your
The
crown?
sand is running through the hourglass on that.
Yes.
Someone will follow me. Good evening, members of the board and President Gaskin. I have several consent agenda items for you, and then I have an action item that I'll address separately. So I am able to submit to you for your approval consent agenda items for 1A, B, C, and D in a package, unless you have questions.
I have a motion for approval.
So move.
A second.
Any discussion?
I didn't find the honorees listed.
Oh.
Did I miss it? Or is it, it's listed on the agenda as 4.1.
Correct.
The
Page
longevity?
The longevity
Did it?
honorees.
Yeah, it's the first page.
I just missed it. Huh?
It's page 29 of 302. They're listed on there, too.
Page 4, 2 of 2 of 4.1A. So if you go to,
It's down about 3/8 of an inch.
Come on.
I apologize.
Anybody have?
It's,
Thank you.
you may have had trouble finding it because there were probably a dozen names on the list, and unfortunately, we only were able to have 2 attend this evening. So it's a very long list. This is a popular month for employees to start at the college.
Good.
So we honor all of them. Some with the years up to 30 years, 25, several with 15 and 10. Yes. So we have a motion and a second. We had some discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? No. Great.
I know that we have someone who wants to speak to this item, so I don't know if I go first or if the speaker goes first.
Let's let the speaker decide. Cornelia, did you want to go beforehand or after? After? Okay.
Okay, thank you. So the action item is 4.2A, and it relates to the tentative agreement that we have reached with the Instructors Association. This is a result of the interest-based bargaining process that we engaged in with the Instructors Association over the summer. With your guidance and support, I'm happy to present this tentative agreement for your approval. But before we do, I do have a couple of minor corrections that I need for you to make. I will read them to you. On item, we're on item 4.2A and page 1 of 2. This is in item B with respect to faculty stipends. We need to add the word adjunct in the first sentence, modifying faculty. The administration provides stipends for adjunct faculty. The second change is on the next page, which is on item D under the heading of domestic partner coverage procedures. the sentence that begins, "A domestic partnership shall be established when both persons file a declaration of domestic partnership with the City of Santa Barbara," needs to be changed to read instead, "A domestic partnership shall be established when both persons sign and notarize an affidavit of domestic partnership with SISC." SISC. It doesn't change the intent, it just changes the process a little bit.
Okay. And you had one more?
No,
item,
that
or
was just those two.
Then I guess we would be ready to hear from Cornelia.
Honorable members of the Board of Trustees, President Macker, Dr. Gaskin. Today you have in front of you for your approval the tentative agreement between the SBCC Instructors Association and the College District. The faculty ratified this agreement in an online vote last week with overwhelming support. We received 96% yes votes. Personally, I cannot remember any better outcome of a ratification vote, and I have been around for a couple of years now. With these negotiations, we had tested new waters. We tried interest-based bargaining, or IBB for short. And I believe I can say so, it worked. And while we went into interest-based bargaining with quite a number of faculty worried, we now turned this around to an IBB fan ratio of 96%. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank my team, faculty members Lynn Stark, Anna Parmalee, Mark Farrar, and David Morris. But I also want to extend many thanks to the team on the district side, Pat English, Jack Friedlander, and Joe Sullivan, and not to forget our facilitator, Paul Bishop, and administrative assistant, Alexandra Tiryan. And last but not least, I wanted to thank you.
Anything else for you? You're back. So with that, we would need a motion to approve.
I move approval.
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion or questions from board members? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? And any abstentions? Good. All right.
Thank you.
What a success. I want to thank Lori, too, and everyone, Lori for introducing the interest-based bargaining. Not everybody sitting here was around a few years ago to see how I don't know if we can even call it bargaining went on before, but this was such a better process, and win-win, I believe.
Thank you. And I wanted to thank Cornelia for her gracious comments. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jack is standing up. He must want to speak.
Hey, all these people, their stipends.
Yeah.
They pushed me up here. I was not eager to come up here, but they wanted this item approved. So I'm recommending item 5.1. This is the approval of stipends.
Sure. A motion to approve?
I'll
Peter.
approve.
Second. Craig seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Good, thank you. And item 5.2, we have one course for the Center for Lifelong Learning that we're recommending. And what this is people who want to, paint at night. That's a nocturnal. So imagine rather than just turn off the studio lights, they go outside when it's actually dark out, and that's when the course takes place.
Cool.
So that's what this is.
That's the course description.
Yeah.
Okay,
How
thank
to
you.
paint in the dark.
Yeah, how to paint in the
How do you
dark,
see
right.
what you're painting.
They're paying.
Maybe I need to take the class.
Right.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve, please?
I so move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay,
Thank you.
motion carries. Joe Sullivan.
Must be like finger painting.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to present for you for your action. Actually, the item 6.1, business services consent items, and we do need to modify that, and that we are pulling 6.1M, the contract for the scoreboard replacement. And we don't have all the approvals we need to actually go forward with that contract at this time, so we have to pull it off. That'd be the only change.
All right, and we've had some discussion from Mary Ann that the Facilities Committee.
Yes, it wasn't pulled at that point, but that's all right. We know that that's a complicated question.
All right. So can I have a motion to approve? We can do all of these, right?
Yes.
I so move, since nobody
I
else.
saw you nod, so second?
Do it.
Second.
Veronica seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Thank you. We can go on to 6.2A is resolution number 8. It's budget transfers between the major objects. And we can take that together with B, which is the resolution number 9, the augmentation of revenues.
Would you like to do, I'm sorry. Thank you, Nicholas. We have a motion for approval. We need a second.
Second.
Second from Craig. Now we move to Angie.
This is just for A and B, right?
Trustee
Just
Bloom?
for A and B, yes.
Oh, okay. Aye. Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Student trustee Style?
Aye.
And the next 3 items we actually did discuss at facilities, but 6.2C is resolution number 10. It's the notice of impending development for the drama music building modernization project. And this is actually a cleanup. We need to go back and get some approvals that we didn't believe we needed in the beginning. So that's why even the drama music is very close to getting our notice from DSA, that, which we hope we get soon. We need to go back and clean this up. So we're posting this notice of impending development and a public works plan amendment.
Did I hear you say we can take C, D, and E together?
No, we can't. I just said we had discussed them. I just wanted to.
Okay, great. So we'll just take item C first. Have a motion for approval?
So move.
Second.
Second.
Third. Okay, go ahead.
Trustee Bloom? Aye. Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen?
No.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Student trustee Style?
Aye.
6.2D is resolution number 11. It's the notice of impending development for the West Campus classroom and office building project. This is timely.
I'll move approval.
A second. Trustee Bloom? Aye. Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Student trustee Style?
And then resolution 6.2E is for the public works plan amendments.
Would you explain that a little?
Okay. I'm going to go over and look at the document because I don't know.
I'm almost there.
Sorry, now that I do it electronically, I have to get to it, so just give me a second. And of course, my computer's not moving right now.
Joe, perhaps Julie can come up and.
Yeah, that's fine, Julie, if you'd
Explain
like
the
to come down.
WP.
Sorry, this is.
What was the question?
I found it.
Okay.
We toward the back.
Julie, if you
almost
could
there.
explain
Go ahead.
what's going on here.
The Public Works Plan Amendment is essentially the document that captures the 3 proposed changes that we're making to our long-range development plan. This is the document that the Coastal Commission recognizes in the format. It essentially captures the same information that you saw in the long-range development plan that you had approved previously, but this is just the official formatting that has to be submitted to the California Coastal Commission to amend that document.
Thank you. We saw that.
So with that, can we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? No.
Trustee Bloom.
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo.
Aye.
Trustee Macker.
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen.
Aye.
Trustee Kugler.
Aye.
Trustee Haslam.
Aye.
Student trustee Style.
Aye.
6.2F is resolution number 13. It's the changes to deferred compensation insurance agreement policy and the split dollar plan policy. This is basically bookkeeping so that we can get Dr. Peter McDougall the changes made to these plans that he wishes to put in place.
What's a split dollar? I mean,
What it means is that we have plans that, the college purchased for Dr. McDougall when he was president here. And because we purchased them, we're still basically an administrator on that policy. So when there are changes to be made, when he wishes to make a change, we need to approve those changes also. And one of the changes is that he is changing the death benefit on one of the policies, which will then basically close that policy out and revert to the college $60,000 that we used to purchase that policy. So as a result, we will be getting that back. And the other is just basically changing the benefit on the other policy to defer payments for him. So they're both actions that both benefit him, but also benefit us.
Okay, did we have a motion to approve?
move approved.
Second.
Okay, Angie?
Trustee Bloom. Aye. Trustee Gallardo.
Aye.
Trustee Macker.
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen.
Aye.
Trustee Kugler.
Aye.
Trustee Haslam.
Aye.
Student trustee Style.
Aye.
6.2G is our formal request for fiscal independence status. And we need this to go forward so that we can, once we become fiscal independent, which we need to do, that means that we have the authority then to write our own checks, do our own auditing, versus working through the county. The county is changing their accounting systems, and this was a decision that was made in conjunction with that because we had to either implement with their systems or fully implement our banner system. And the choice we made was to fully implement our banner system and go independent.
We've discussed this before. Go ahead, Marianne.
That's what I was going to say, is that at the fiscal meeting, we discussed this in detail, and it's a very exciting plan.
Thank you.
It sounds like a revolution. Fiscally independent, I had no idea we were.
It's actually just who's doing the books.
The middle board.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
Darn.
who's writing all
thought
the
it was
little
becoming
paychecks? And
fiscally
it's the county
independent.
that's doing it for us right now. And now, we already have the software. In fact,
So
we
we can
just
do it, the banner, yeah.
resubscribed to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just spent some more money on the software.
Okay.
This was a discovery thing for me, and I remember it vividly. It's a
There
good.
you go.
It's
It
not
sounds
not
really
exact-
important, but it's
it-
not.
It's not necessarily that big a
Find it,
thing,
yeah.
because since we already have the software. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion for approval? We
Move
did, from
approval.
Marianne and you want a second, Nicholas? I don't think we had one. All right, Angie, roll call.
It's actually not a resolution.
That's the last one, and it's not a okay.
You
All-
made a mistake. First time.
We threw her off. We threw it at the end, but we wanted a separate vote for that because of the importance of it. We wanted to acknowledge the vote.
Okay, so we will vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. So we're going to adjourn to closed session. Do you have an idea how long we'll be, Dr. Gaston?
Let's see, probably half hour.
Probably a half hour, and then we'll come back in here.
Yes, and this is to announce as well, we have shaded a future meeting of the board, October 16th, which is out of sequence, and that will be for board training. We are moving into the 21st century, and we are putting our board agendas on, into an electronic format.
Do you
And
know
so,
what's the program we're?
board docs.
Board docs, okay.
Yes, board docs. So you will be trained to access it. So you won't have to go here, there, and everywhere. I know it looks worrisome, but it'll be so much easier. There'll be links, and you won't have PDFs, and it'll be much better.
What date was that again?
And it won't be sideways on my screen?
Exactly.
October
Exactly.
16th.
I got tired of turning my monitor inside so I
Turn
could
my
read
head.
something.
It was kind of-
Lori, I don't have, is it at 4 o'clock?
It says so.
4
on the
o'clock.
last sheet.
Yes,
So it's
4
on the
o'clock.
final sheet of
It's
the
shaded,
agenda.
yes.
All right, so we're going to adjourn into closed session.
Here's what I'd say. There ought to be a moonlight saving time, so I could love that man of mine till the birds